racism?
Well, I think he's going to have to answer for that and speak to it. Look, this is a time where voters are looking for a president who can lead us out of the days when it was just commonplace or accepted to have these kinds of sexist and discriminatory attitudes. And, right now, this is our chance to do something different. Obviously, there is no comparison to this president and the way that he has treated and talked about women and people of color and continues to do so to this day. But we in our party hold ourselves to the highest standard, and it is going to be critical for us to have a nominee who can authentically lead and who can show growth on these challenges. Look, some of these are issues that our country is about to face are among the most intractable we've ever had, but you've got to arrive at those challenges with the ability to explain your record and with an ability to explain how you're going to raise the bar at a time when we are finally asking a lot more from our elected leaders.
Well, let me follow up on that, because Kellyanne Conway was, I think, trolling Democrats and saying, boy, this party that talks about all of these principles in the Me Too era, are they going to nominate somebody like Michael Bloomberg with his record of things he's done, for instance, towards women in the workplace, just because they think he can beat Donald Trump? What would that say about what the Democratic Party really stands for?
For a representative of this White House to speak about misogyny, to speak about sexism, to speak about racism is comical. And you're right, I think it amounts to trolling. Look, the American people are not going to be fooled by anybody from the Trump White House when it comes to these issues. So I'll leave it to my competitors in this race to speak for themselves. But one thing we can all agree on is that we can do a lot better than this president. And, one of the reasons why I'm seeing a lot of folks from the Republican Party or formerly from the Republican Party ready to cross over is that they can no longer look their children in the eye and explain the behavior of the current president of the United States.
Mayor, you have been very open about the fact that you're gay, and it hasn't been much of an issue in this campaign until now. This week, two conservative supporters of President Trump, Rush Limbaugh and Sebastian Gorka, talked about it on their shows. Take a look.
A gay guy, 37 years old, loves kissing his husband on debate stages. Can you see Trump have fun with that?
Why is a homosexual man lecturing us about the sanctity of life in the womb? Just a little curious there. Strange.
Mayor, what's your reaction to those comments?
Well, I am in a faithful, loving, committed marriage. I'm proud of my marriage. And I'm proud of my husband. And I'm not going to be lectured on family values from the likes of Rush Limbaugh or anybody who supports Donald J. Trump as the moral as well as political leader of the United States. America has moved on, and we should have politics of belonging that welcomes everybody. That's what the American people are for. And I am saddened for what the Republican Party has become if they embrace that kind of homophobic rhetoric.
And how big an issue do you think this would be in a general election? Clearly, they think it would be an issue. The idea that you would need, and you have reached out to social conservatives, many of whose votes you'd need, but who might have concerns about your sexual orientation.
Well, here's my generational or general election experience on this. I came out during a general election in South Bend, and this was at a time when Mike Pence was the governor of Indiana, and we didn't know what would happen. I'll tell you what happened. I got reelected with 80% of the vote in my generally Democratic but socially conservative community, more than I had the first time that I ran for office. This election isn't about any of us candidates. It is about voters' lives, and we're the ones trying to get voters a raise. We're the ones trying to make sure that there is paid family leave, working to end endless war, serious about climate change, actually prepared to do something on gun violence. And when it comes to LGBTQ issues, this is, I think, the most important thing is not the treatment of candidates. It's what's happening to individuals and families across the country, from brave service members who have their careers threatened by this president to kids experiencing bullying right now in this climate. We can do better, and you don't have to be a diehard Democrat to know that we can do better when it comes to inclusion and equality in this country.
Mayor, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We'll be watching developments next week out of Nevada. Good to have you.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
When we come back, as